Greetings, sports fans nationwide. You've entered the Sports Opinion Log, and in this video, hashtag NBA free agency. It went down last night, and even today, it's still going on as these NBA teams can't help but waste millions upon millions of dollars on players who don't deserve these multi-year lucrative contracts. Among them, Gordon Hayward, 4 years, $120 million with the Charlotte Bobcats. De'Aaron Fox, 5 years, $163 million with the Sacramento Kings. Sports fans nationwide, I need you to help me make it make sense. Drop a comment below. But before you do, if you're down with all things NBA free agency, East Coast or West Coast, make sure you're subscribing to the channel and press that bell icon to stay notified for any and all upcoming future videos while I break down the top premier signings in this video. So, of course, I have to start off with Gallinari. How is it possible that someone who's 30 years old, well-traveled, tends to be injury-prone, gets 3 years, $61.5 million? Never made an all-star team. Decent defender, okay from three-point range, and look at him being lavished with all this money. It's not going to work. Gallinari, Rondo, Trae Young, Capella, who also has foot and ankle issues, they're not going to make any noise in the East. It's not even going to matter. And you know it's not going to matter either? Gordon Hayward, 4 years, $120 million with the Charlotte Bobcats, which makes no sense. How is it possible that someone so old as Gordon Hayward, who's 30 years old, severely injury prone? He opted out of his fourth-year deal with the Celtics, but yet in his 3 seasons with the Celtics, he's missed a total of 142 to 145 games, including playoffs. And he gets a lavish payday? The Kings, with De'Aaron Fox, 5 years, $163 million. For what? Hoping that between the ages of 23 and 28 that he's going to show growth and potentially become an all-star, but it won't lead the Kings to a playoff spot. Like, it boggles the mind. It's mind-boggling how the NBA continues to waste millions upon millions of dollars despite the billions lost during this trying time of the coronavirus, the pandemic, COVID-19. But how about Fred VanFleet of the Toronto Raptors, who made $19 million over the course of his earlier 4-year deal, gets blessed, rewarded for his good work, 4 years, $85 million. He's worth it. I mean, like, he held it down for the Raptors, helping them become NBA champions with Kawhi Leonard, and he held it down in his absence. However, he will still be like the backup point guard to Kyle Lowry, who, of course, I believe his contract should be over in the next season or two. So this should be interesting. I thought VanFleet would have wanted to, create his own name, be his own man with another team, with a new team. Clearly, Toronto is where he's comfortable. They looked out for him. He got the payday. So let's see what the future holds for them. Even though they're going to clearly lose Serge Ibaka, Marc Gasol, we'll see where he lands up. But again, the future for VanFleet is very bright and is also very, very rich. And of course, in the lesser-known deals, we have the Washington Wizards, who re-signed Davis Bertans to a reported 5-year, $80 million deal. But of course, it's the Wizards. It's not going to matter. The Utah Jazz re-signed Jordan Clarkson for 4 years, $52 million, and a 3-year deal worth $30 million to Derek Favors. Okay. And Millsap, he will be returning to the Denver Nuggets, 1 year, $10 million. Carmelo Anthony will be staying with the Portland Trailblazers as he looks to sign with them for a 1-year deal. Finances on that have not been disclosed as of yet. The Pelicans, on a 4-team trade deal in which they had dealt Drew Holiday, will be getting Steven Adams. Steven Adams with Zion Williamson, I don't really see that working. Well, 2 big lumbering oafs in the paint. Can't really see it. But on the plus side, you could use Steven Adams as center and maybe turn Zion Williamson into this crazy power forward. And he is kind of overpaid. He has, like, I believe 1 year left on a $20+ million deal. So maybe they're just taking him on for cap space in the future. Hopefully that'll work. The Clippers re-signing Marcus Morris Sr. to 4 years, $64 million deal. The Pacers are going to re-sign Justin Holiday to a 3-year, $18 million deal. Okay, great. But again, it's the Pacers. Like, no one really cares about these teams and deals. The Rockets, however, 3 years, $41 million to Christian Wood. And who is Christian Wood? I have no idea who this young man is, except hearing that he was a great player during the Summer League in Vegas back in 2015. So maybe he's the missing piece that James Harden said that they needed to get to the championship level. I mean, like, he did tear it up, though, with the Detroit Pistons, where he was averaging 22.8 and 9.9 rebounds in the final 13 games of the season for the Pistons before, of course, coronavirus hit. And the Brooklyn Nets, they have a 4-year, $75 million deal for their guard, Joe Harris, who, of course, had won a three-point contest. So look at that. You could win a frivolous, meaningless NBA All-Star activity and turn it into a lavish payday. Because if Joe Harris was worth anything, the Nets would have eliminated the Portland Trailblazers back in the NBA bubble when they had the chance. But they didn't. And of course, that fed into people thinking that the Trailblazers were the most dangerous 8th seed in NBA playoff history, which wasn't the case as they went down to the king, the chosen one. We are all witnesses, LeBron James. Final nail in the coffin to the LA Clippers, who of course had lost Montrezl Harrell to my and your LA Lakers. They also lost JaMychal Green to their opponents in the West, the Denver Nuggets, agreeing to a 2-year, $15 million deal, which clearly validates what I, the prophet, had decreed a long, long time ago, that no one likes the Clippers. No one loves the Clippers. The Clippers have no real fans from when I last checked. The Clippers fan base is nothing more than a product of Laker haters. That's who they are. Paul George has no real fans. Kawhi Leonard has no real fan base. The only love he had was in Toronto, and he chose to leave that city and that country and their fans. And shame on him. He will not find the success that he was hoping to find in LA with the Clippers, because LA, Los Angeles, is run by only one team, and that would be my and your LA Lakers, and no one else will ever come close to owning and running and having the love of Los Angeles the way the Lakers do. The Hawks, no one's going to care. Sixers, Dwight Howard, 1 year, $2.6 million deal. No one cares because they are highly overpaid with Tobias Harris, Joel Embiid, Ben Simmons. It's just a mess in Philadelphia at the end of the day. And the Brooklyn Nets, we don't know which way they're going. We do know that they have two injury-prone players who are being paid a lot of money, Durant and the oddball Kyrie Irving. Will Serge Ibaka join? We'll see. It's not even official yet. But you best believe when the news becomes official, I, the top 1% of the People Sportscaster, Lex Anderson, will be here front and center to report that breaking news to you. Thank you very much for tuning in. And if you've come this far into the video, please make the commitment. Subscribe. I need to hit 1,000 subscribers. And that can only be possible with your participation and your commitment. And don't forget, if you've come this far, drop a like. Or hell, I take dislikes, because you know why? Fuck the Boston Celtics. Until next time, sports fans nationwide, Lex Anderson signing out.